bacon around the potato and serve them with bacon and eggs, they're delicious. Different colored vegetables, wind them together and you get the two colors. Here's a little trick cut. Split the curl halfway through the center. If you're making a shrimp salad and you happen to run short of shrimp, mix these in with the regular shrimp. Upon my word, you couldn't tell the difference until you started to eat them. Now the rest of the potato, you stuff it. We'll call this a little chicken. We'll call this here some hamburger. You might have a little meat that's been laying in the ice box for a few days. Chop the meat up fine, season it highly, stuff it into the center of the potato and bake them with the skins on. When they're done, cut them in two. Serve them on the half shell just like that. Serve them in slices when company calls. The more company you have, the thinner you cut the slices. If your mother-in-law calls, give her a beak piece like that. Now the second tool in the set is known as the garnishing knife. Everything you cut with this must come out fancy. Watch this, please. You cut down, you turn the potato, and then you cut through the edge. First one way and then the other. Sweet potatoes cut like this, drop them into a little batter of pancake flour and fry them. When they're golden brown, sprinkle molasses on them. Serve them with strips of bacon for breakfast. Why, they're delicious. Here's beets, you pickle them, and carrots, you steam or cream them. In making the original French fried potato, cut them in thick slices. Put them one on top of each other. Cross-cut the slices, and you'll never eat a French fry any other way. The potatoes cut like this will not absorb the fat because they're garnished around. Pineapples cut for your pineapple and cheese salad, cut them the same way. Here is one, and this is a dandy. Cuts any thickness or any size. Open it for a thick slice, close to the top for a thin slice. Saratoga chips, you can make them for 3 or 4 pennies a pound. Just pull the blade towards you like this. If you want the slices thicker than this, open the blade, there's a thick slice. Shoestrings for your Friday fish dinner, cut them down like this. Chop them up for your vegetable soup. What this knife is really intended for is for cutting the cabbage. You know the old-fashioned board, how you rip and tear, sometimes nipping the ends off your fingers. Lay it flat and pull it lightly towards you over the cabbage. The weight of the knife across the cabbage is all that's necessary. Why, ladies, when you get slaw cut as fine as this, you'll certainly appreciate eating it. The crowning feature of the set is the cutter that I'm going to show you now. This is known as the Champeen Vegetable Mincing Knife and Noodle Cutter. Now, when you want to make some real fine noodles at home, you roll the dough out like this. Dip this into a little flour so it doesn't stick to the dough, and as you roll it over the dough, that will cut the noodles in long strips, 10 at a time. Did you ever try to chop up a little nuts for cake? Why, I've seen ladies chop nuts and the nuts land up on the ceiling. Sometimes you chop the ends off your fingers. When you want to chop up a little nuts for cake, cooked meat, clams for chowder, soup greens to throw into your soup, making a little pepper or chicken hash is just a few strokes rolling it up and down. Why, here is without a doubt the meanest thing in the world to cut parsley. Put that in a grinder, you really grind it too fine. This machine, instead of crushing the parsley, cuts it quick, clean, and dry, leaving every bit of the juice and every bit of the flavor. Now, to clean this machine, you press the button. Rinse it out in a little water. When you're through using it, hang it up and let it dry. Here's one here that every lady should have in her home, known as the Parisian scoop. You lay it flat, once to the right, once to the left. When you scoop them out, you'll get a perfect round little ball. You can pot roast these, cut them out of cheese or cut them out of butter. When you're serving a fruit cocktail in the summertime, take your fresh cantaloupe, scoop them out like this, Mix them with apples, pears, and watermelons. Makes a delicious fruit cocktail served with a little cracked ice like you see here. But here's a tool, ladies, if you ever do get it, you'll thank the day you've seen this demonstration. When you press, it locks. It's like a pair of human hands. Reach in the oven and take the biscuits out of the oven. Ever take the hot potatoes out of the oven and burn yourself on the elbow? A roast chicken out of the oven, a piece of meat out of the pot, spinach, asparagus out of the water. Why, around canning season when you're preserving the fruits, to take the hot fruit jars out of the water like that, that machine is worth dollars to you. And here's another one that I really know you'll enjoy having in your kitchen, known as the safety grater. No doubt you're familiar with the old-fashioned grater. I've seen ladies take a grater and rip the knuckles off. When you want to grate up potatoes for delicious potato pancakes, this has a smooth, flat edge, impossible to cut yourself. Just like you were washing clothes, you rub it up and down, and you really grate your vegetables real fine, retaining all the flavors and all the juices. Breadcrumbs for when you're serving veal cutlets or anything like that. You want a little breadcrumbs to fry your fish in? Why, there's the greatest proposition in the world. Use that for coconut, cheese, or horseradish. When you're through with it, just heat it down like that. That knocks all the food out. Rinse it out in a little water and hang it up and let it dry. Now, here is a stone made of carborundum and sapphire quartz, which is made purposely to keep these knives sharp. When they get dull, a few strokes over the edge like this, and you can put a keen cutting edge on it. If you have a dull knife or a dull pair of scissors, an old sickle or a scythe, a lawnmower, cleaver, an axe, there's a tool that will really put an edge on the knife so the knife will really cut for you. I just want to give you an idea of how sharp that knife really is when you sharpen it with that stone. Ladies, I've seen some of you try to open up cans. Now, there's a can of Campbell's baked beans. I've seen ladies open up a can and you poke a hole in it, go around the top, hippity-hop, and your finger slips. Let me show you a real proposition. Look, lay it on the can, lift up the safety, and turn the key. That locks itself on the can. No harder than you were winding up your watch. Wind up the key and that'll cut the top off of the can slick and smooth. Notice how the end raises itself up in the air so you can lift the lid off, giving you a clean, smooth edge. Now that can be used for sardine cans, square cans or round cans, exactly the same way. Now this tool here, my dear friends, needs no introduction. This will save you on an average of $20 to $30 every year you use it as a peeling knife. Here's a grater for cheese, coconut, or horseradish, a fish scaler for scaling your fish, and when you're coring your apple, it's just a slight twist of the wrist, and there's the apple core. There's one more tool that I want you to see, and I want you to watch this one very closely. Many a times when you're baking a pie, you have a pudding in the oven. I've seen ladies wrap a towel around your hand, and many a times you burn your fingers. Hook this onto the pot like this and lift the hot pots off the top of the stove. You've got a pie pan in the oven. Catch a hold of the pie pan like this. Why, you couldn't get it off with a team of horses. This will positively lift 100 pounds. There's a pail of water weighs 50 or 60 pounds. That's the way you pick it up. But there's one more tool. I'll be all through and I'll be finished. Oh, now the next tool and the last one is what they call the Sarah Bernhardt cutter. This was invented by the head chef of the Imperial Hotel in the city of Berlin, Germany. You place the screw into the center of the vegetable. Twist the vegetable until the threads catch a hold, then you wind this up. You keep winding until you utilize the whole potato. The faster you turn, the quicker the slices. Why, ladies, here's a machine for slicing onions. The first onion that you slice with this cutter, you'll bless the day you've got a hold of it. Every slice cut exactly the same thickness, Every slice cut the same size. In making what they call a rosette, pull the vegetable out like this. Pin the ends together with a toothpick. Drop that potato into the hot fat and fry it. That will come out like a donut, golden brown. If you're serving a nice fish dinner, a little parsley goes in the center with the fish all around it, makes a very appetizing dish. Did you ever try to slice onions with a knife? You know how you get one thick slice and one thin slice? Run the knife through the center. That will separate each slice individual. Almost like magic, there is every slice cut exactly the same thickness and the same size. Wouldn't you like to have a set like this in your kitchen? Why, of course you would. Now don't forget, attend this theater every week and receive this 12-piece fascinating... Ladies and gentlemen, the management of this theater takes great pleasure in making this announcement. To each lady attending this theater each week, will receive absolutely free a fascinating 12-piece kitchen cutlery set, one piece each time. It is really interesting and amazing to know how you can prepare your meals in an appetizing and pleasing manner. There's an old saying, and a true one, that what is pleasing to the eye is bound to be pleasing to the appetite. I'm going to demonstrate this set to you, and I want you to watch it very closely. The first cutter that I'm going to show you, now this first one is known as the Parisian cutter. Wind it through the potato like a corkscrew. When the cutter appears on the opposite side, pull the cutter out. Place the handle in the center and twist it out. This is what they call a French curl. When you fry these, they come out like donuts, nice and brown. Serve them with your steaks or pot roast them. Unwind it, there's two curls out of the one potato. Tomorrow morning for breakfast, wind a little strip of bacon around the potato and serve them with bacon and eggs. They're delicious. Different colored vegetables, wind them together and you get the two colors. Here's a little trick cut. Split the curl halfway through the center. If you're making a shrimp salad and you happen to run short of shrimp, mix these in with the regular shrimp. Upon my word, you couldn't tell the difference until you start to eat 'em. Now the rest of the potato, you stuff it. We'll call this a little chicken. We'll call this here some hamburger. You might have a little meat that's been laying in the ice box for a few days. Chop the meat up fine, season it highly, stuff it into the center of the potato and bake them with the skins on. When they're done, cut them in two. Serve them on the half shell, just like that. Serve them in slices when company calls. The more company you have, the thinner you cut the slices. If your mother-in-law calls, give her a beak piece like that. Now the second tool in the set is known as the garnishing knife. Everything you cut with this must come out fancy. Watch this, please. You cut down, you turn the potato, and then you cut through the edge. First one way, and then the other. Sweet potatoes cut like this. Drop them into a little batter of pancake flour and fry them. When they're golden brown, sprinkle molasses on them. Serve them with strips of bacon for breakfast. Why, they're delicious. Here's beets, you pickle them, and carrots, you steam or cream them. In making the original French fried potato, cut them in thick slices. Put them one on top of each other. Cross-cut the slices, and you'll never eat a French fry any other way. The potato cut like this will not absorb the...
Hello everyone. How we doing today? Let's go. Thank you for that follow, Cosmic Cat. Yeah, there's so many gaffes and weird things about that video, Glass. Welcome. And hello, car guy. Just finishing up, getting all my cleaning done here. Oops. Okay. Good, it didn't bump the stream deck. Worried it was going to change my camera view on me there. So tonight, going to be doing all sorts of berry stuff. Got some lovely strawberries from the market. And we also have just a few smaller blackberries here. I forget the specific variety, but these are not supermarket blackberries. Pick those up from, generally farms will buy a stand at a farmer's market. My one here seems to have some sort of a buddy deal for one of the stands, and you have a whole bunch of farmers with just like one or two things, or people gleaning their own trees and trying to make a couple bucks. But so that's where those came from, and this came from one of the heavy hitters of the local strawberries here in Sonoma County. Have not been evacuated with all the fires going on. Hopefully things don't get worse, but what fires we do have here in Sonoma County, while potentially threatening Windsor, Healdsburg, otherwise seem to be dying down a little bit. So that's good. I didn't look where, but I got to notice that they released a couple of the current evacuation zones from warnings to alerts. So that's good too. Let people go sleep in their own beds. I got everything in here. Actually got the ring mold from making the biscuits the other night. So the start here is going to be ring molds. So gonna move the fruit out of the way. Also got some walnuts to candy and throw on the salad. Got a little bit of a St. Auger blue. Should be a nice little mashup. Good for hot weather, even though I'm about to crank my oven up to 450 degrees. Yeah, there's no question, Glass, if you're still hanging. I don't know if you're... but he totally screws up the angle of that knife. I think he screws up the stone or whatever it is as he's cut. It seems like he cuts into it. There's so many things hilarious about that video, and just wrong. Need a piece of parchment. I'll put a little bit of, let's see. Let's do cornmeal for our bottom of our crust. And so this has been fermenting since 9 o'clock last night. I mixed together 100 grams of whole wheat baking flour and 300 grams of AP flour. And then 300 grams of water and decent amount of yeast and salt. So we're gonna first pull them away from the bowl. Still quite wet dough. It does want to stick to the hand. Want to move quick enough that it doesn't do so. And then start with the fun part. Start folding. And I want to give this guy a couple of decent folds. Typically just want to do one good book fold on a no knead dough, but I am going to, I think, double that tonight. So that was our first book fold. We'll do a second one. Using the weight of the dough and the bowl here to stretch, rather than getting my hands all dirty, getting rolling pin all dirty. And it does pull away from the bowl all by itself there, so that's pretty good for a dough. Means we're doing pretty good here. That'll be our last one. Messed up the shape a little bit. Oh well. Okay, so we'll start warming up in our oven here. .450 degrees. Turn our fan on, and gonna put both top and bottom of my cast iron down in there and warm up. We're gonna let this sit for an hour. Make sure that oven's absolutely cooking. Make sure our Pan is completely preheated. Probably doesn't need a whole hour, but it's not going to kill it. And take a towel, fresh clean towel. Doesn't have to be brand new. This ain't brand new. And throw that over the top. If you noticed, I threw some flour over the top so the towel doesn't stick. And so, other project we're working here that's not, well, it's part of the menu there, but not part of the title. I'm going to, I didn't deal with the jerky yesterday, so I'm going to put that in the dehydrator tonight. I'll put it on the racks here and then turn it on after it starts getting cool outside. The oven heating up the house is enough by itself. But we got a fair amount of jerky to dehydrate. So I'm gonna go get my racks. I got one sitting over here because I just cleaned it. Hi there. Okay, to start. One of these I should have just put back here for right now. And a piece of parchment under here to just catch a little bit of the drippings and all that. We got 2 bags in here. Ooh, got roulettes in the way. Made those too. We'll show those off a little bit later though. I want these right now. This up just off the corner here. The side here. And I'm just gonna have to get my hands dirty here. Pull out that bay leaf. Oh, it smells good. That soy sauce and garlic in there. that's probably not going to be a great piece. But this guy's going to be awesome. Some of these other guys are going to be pretty cool too. And I'm not afraid to leave them like essentially touching. You don't really want them overlapping, but we're dehydrating them. They're all going to shrink. So do keep that in mind. There we go. Some nice slices here. Still haven't figured out how to get my new audio routed to the web browser for the captioning. So hope they have the captions back. But right now there's been bigger fish to fry. And the method here, if you're doing a ton of jerky and you got someone working for you, you can have them pick through and put all the big pieces on one layer. And I'm just gonna put everything on one tray, and when I'm done drying things, at least for my initial dry, I'll go and look through and see if there's any bigger pieces that need to go a little bit longer. And I'll put those on a separate tray and let them go a little bit longer. I'm just going to go ahead and go and set these directly in the dehydrator as I fill. You should make the house smell lovely all night. Oops. Didn't want that on the towel. Now I gotta throw that towel in the wash too. The oven telling me it thinks it's 450 degrees. It's probably over 450 right now, but we want that oven fully heated, fully warmed up. It's home oven, not a convection oven, not anything fancy. If I was using one of the larger convection ovens in my mobile kitchen. Yeah, just throw it right in. Meat puzzles. I think that's what we were joking about last time I was putting everything in the dehydrator trays. Wash my hands and close the bedroom door. I think I'm yeah, let's just turn the oven up, fan on higher. I'm only using the front wipe right now anyways. Hopefully this time we'll be a little bit closer to filling the whole tray up. I don't know, I don't remember how much raw meat I had with the last batch of jerky. Hey, more no lyrics music with lyrics. battle time. Then we finish up this tray and we'll battle. Alright, Stream Raiders. Looked like I had a couple people come to help me out. That was sort of weird how it waited for me to, or waited for the warrior to step up and attack. I know I put it in the defensive zone, but... check my army here right quick. Upgrade my flag bearer. I can unlock a bunch of stuff, but I'm not interested in that. Let's see if I can get any cheap scrolls for my tank. There we go. I'll do both of those. Okay, we have chest or chest. Let's go with the chest. Okay. Back to meat puzzles. I was actually playing Stream Raiders quite a bit. I've sort of stopped since I started doing this because it's almost like a completely different account. It's like a different game because I'm leveling up a different set of characters from my personal ones. Then again, some of the people that I was getting hooked on Stream Raiders with, the two other chefs here, Chef the Party and Babylon, Chef Babylon, who already have this. And there's a wood carver, and he's been streaming a little bit less. He's European, Australian. He's not U.S. time zones. Nice entropy. Yeah, it's sort of cool game. Gives you a little something to do to keep you engaged. And now they're starting to do some other funky stuff. I'm just getting started with it, so I'm not going into it, but they're doing like battles where now different captains can battle different captains. Yeah, that's what I was. The versus battles. I'm just gonna leave that be for right now. Figure things out, build up my own stream army. And then we'll take a look at that. Sort of curious, I don't know how long it's been around. I mean, it's in beta, but everything's in beta these days. So. And from the website, it looks like they don't intend to make it their only game. I also like the pixel art with it too. It's I'm sort of gotten hooked on pixel art here the last 6 months or so between Mixer and here. I don't know, this doesn't sound like chill music to me. This is our some deserves to be playing on Dr. Disrespect's channel here. Let's skip that one. Though I did add the overlay, like right here, that for, I forget what it is. I wish I could set it to 0 bits, but I think it's 100 bits. You can vote to change or choose your music. Don't need to dehydrate the bay leaf there. Looks like we're actually going to have about the same amount this time. I did about half the dehydrator there. Maybe a little bit more than half. And I think we're going to have just a little bit more than half this time. I have noticed that Entropy, that putting a flag bearer down there is pretty good for your stats and number if you got, because it'll help share with the assists. Talk, Jason. With a whole bunch of other characters. You'll see when you put a flag bearer down that it makes the units in its circle that it affects sparkle. And I forget what the exact effects are, but it increases damage of the units. The rogues, even though I don't have a lot of experience with them, seem to work best off on their own. And yeah, I just like throwing down a ton of archers and have myself a good tank and a flag bearer. Just starting to get into, or rather I was just starting to get into the bomber unit in my player account. But I don't have a lot of experience with that either. I'm complete noob at this game. And then the healers do help too, but I haven't gotten to them to try them out too. But I've seen them be effective. I forget who, but I think I've seen someone use them on my stream. They do seem to have a pretty good support setup too. I mean, they sort of run things through their Discord, and I have a direct private message set up with at least someone on staff. Whoever is assigned to me and probably a gazillion other accounts. Hey, car guy, welcome back. Just finish up the last of our jerky here. nice and soy sauce stained. I'll turn that on for 145, 155 for 2-ish hours, I think it was. I have to look it up again. It could be longer than that. But I will do that after stream. I'm going to do a apple cider vinegar strawberry jam that is mostly just a reduction jam. There's no pectin involved. So strawberries are low pectin themselves. So just gonna cook it until it's nice and jammy. But I think we're getting close enough here. We got nice. They fly by the race. What happened with the race? I didn't see the results today. I'm gonna give my deformed loaf of bread here a little brush, make sure we don't have any huge clumps of flour going on here. Set up a landing zone here for our hot pan. And I've learned to just let this do its own thing. I don't like cutting no knead and hydration doughs. They just need to bubble and crack. They look better with cracks anyways. Alonzo even finish? Pan smoking over there. This one's smoking a little bit too. Put the lid on top. I was actually just talking about this cast iron in a different stream earlier. We'll go 20 minutes with that cover, take a look at it, take the cover off, and probably go another 20 minutes to give it some nice deep color. There was a video, I got it off of Twitter. I haven't looked to see if it's still on Twitter, but I put it on my personal Facebook of the 747 tanker for firefighting. They did a video of it like maybe 75 feet off of the ground. It was ridiculously close to the ground. But it showed the video of the small little plane flying in front of it that shoots off a little water vapor to say where they should start. And then the big plane just... The state doesn't own the 747. They don't have anything that big. But they do have something like 100 aircraft. The 747 is owned by some company, and that's all the plane does. It flies around the world and tries to put out fires. Throw you in the wash now. You had pork on you. Where are we on my timeline for tonight? Jerky's in dehydrator, bread is done in the oven. Berries for garnish. So we're gonna take a couple of nice, dark, deep red strawberries here. Some of these guys. Something like that. Nah. You're cutesy. That's impressive, but that guy's gonna be good too, but he's not garnish. Ooh, he's a little soft. He's gone. Nice car guy. Nice. I don't see Andretti in that list, so it doesn't sound like he did as good as he hoped. Oh, he looks good. Throw him over here. You're still fine. He'll be good for jam. I got enough strawberries over there for that. These are going to be my pretty strawberries for the salad. These will compost. Well, not compost, throw in my recycling. These guys, I'll often actually return these because a lot of the farmers, at least the small farmers, they'll rinse them out and reuse them. Okay. So we need a pound of strawberries for our jam. see that or not? I don't think you will. You can. Nice. And so these, we'll push these towards the back here. Get my protein boards here. Because cutting strawberries, the juice is going to stain. Just going to remove the tops basically. Need a little bit more purchase on that board. So yeah, I don't want that on my main board because that's gonna yeah. Love me some strawberries. Yeah, I'm just gonna eat that. I mean, sometimes there's too good to make it even into a dish. That one's pretty good too. Want them to be just like juice. I mean, these guys aren't going to have much white in the center. You buy them at the supermarket, you get tons of white in the center. That could maybe go another 12 hours, but that's pretty ripe right there. That's actually the judgment these guys are, when they're harvesting, are really making, is which ones do they need to harvest today. Start getting to the part which ones do I need to throw in the jam. Let's grab some of these larger boys and try and find the uglier ones in the bunch, like you. Don't know if we're going to use all of these. Well, we got to do this muffins too. Yep, same thing there. It's the same thing with a lot of mushrooms. Like the difference between a cremini and a portobello is like 2 hours or something ridiculous like that. Because when they sprout, and The creminis is just them catching them early. Oh, we got a little visitor in this guy. We'll just toss him out. Let him keep his house. And we got our pound here. Save the rest of these for our dressing and the muffins. Put these back in a basket for right now. Come back to these guys a bit later. Starting to smell like fresh bread here. You can hear, can't hear, but can smell that yeasty, bready aroma going on. See, I still got a little staining going on, even with doing off all my cutting off of the board. It's nothing major. That red color, even though it sticks to the board, it fades away in a couple days. It's actually probably a UV thing. How much sunlight it gets. Been watching a streamer who built a wood shop for making bowls in his garage, and he was working with what was it? Purple wood? Purple Heart? It's one in a number of woods that the oils and the UV change the color and light up. Sort of like redwood. You sand it all up, and it'll lighten and turn brown. You put it back in the sunlight, it'll turn back red. Alright, battle time. We got it. Ugh. No. It's a machine. Let's try this one instead. Or no. Let's go back to this one. This is a little bit easier, apparently. Even though it... Yeah. Ow. Why don't we try from this side this time? I can add a whole bunch. I can do like battle planning and suggest like armored. And stuff like that. But something like that. It takes too long. The setup for it, even though it's pretty simple there, just point and click and draw it on the map, it just takes too long. And people are gonna do what they want anyways. So I haven't really been bothering with that. But anyways, I can do that too, or other streamers can. Let's go back to, let's see how we doing on bread. We got another 2.5 minutes there. We got our berries there. I'm gonna add 1/2 cup of sugar and 1/4 cup of apple cider vinegar. We'll get those simmering. Oh, pinch of salt too. Need a pinch of salt and everything. Oh, 1/4 cups of sugar. There's 1/2 cup of sugar. And apple cider vinegar. The premise here is a little, I'm not using high fructose corn syrup, but I'm treating my jam here a little bit like soda. The premise there on soda, yeah, it seems a lot of people ignore it. Like soda, you're taking, in sodas they use some like heavy duty acids, stuff you don't want to use and stuff you don't use for cooking at home, but they then match it up with, you know, their high fructose super sugar, and so they take that liquid, make it hugely acidic, and then cut the acidity with sugar. Gonna do the same thing here with my strawberries. Gonna add the vinegar in there, and that's gonna add a sour to it, and then we're gonna add a bunch of sugar in there with those already sweet and ripe berries, and make that just, oh. Do a little cleanup here. I need to take the lid off of the bread. Finished off the last of my apple cider vinegar. Well, in the small bottle. Looking good there. But like I said, needs to get a little bit more browning. So throw that back in. Let that hang out a little bit longer. I've seen streamers, or I don't know, streamers, YouTube, probably YouTube, people use this side as their bottom. It probably would work better at this point for getting color, because what's going to happen with the high sides is we're not going to get as good air circulation. That pan is going to heat the bottom and the sides. The very, very top isn't going to darken as well. If it was here open, we'd still get a nice heavy crust on the bottom, but the thing as a whole would cook it may take a little bit longer, but it would be overall a little bit more golden. I think this is going to give me a... It's still going to be gorgeous. But I'm constantly sitting here. I'm never happy with anything. I always want to... on one hand, I don't want to do more work, but I always want to make things better at the same time. Many times there's things that I could do for just garnish, and I'll skip them, but... So where are we at on our list? Oh, hey! Pretty good point in the night. Let's drink some wine. I don't always create a timeline, but I actually took the time tonight to sort of plan out things. Just because I have a whole bunch of... Normally if it's something I'm comfortable with, or it's only one or two projects. Today I got a whole bunch of small little things. So... pretty. I don't know if you're even seeing that. You're probably not. Yep. Nice, pretty rosé. Beautiful color on that. Yeah, but Entropy, there's streamers and cooks and entertainers that put so much more time and effort into getting that perfect Instagram photo that I've sort of skimped on a lot of that because I'm doing a regular every day. I'm doing it for myself, so I'm not gonna break the bank for one garnish. I'm not gonna be buying a bunch of truffles or anything. But nice, pretty. I don't want to call it salmon. It's too pink for salmon, but nice color. Oh, and they sold me right off, minerality right off the bat in the nose. But Rodney Strong just been hitting out of the park as far as the supermarket wines that I've been trying. Crisp, acidic, it's making my mouth water immediately. Bright. Gonna go with a litany of seafood. Probably would go well with something light and buttery. Gonna go well with the dinner tonight. Could probably still maybe even handle like a grilled chicken breast or something. That's a pretty good wine. It's got a pretty wide range of things that I could do with it with this first food. And I didn't do two things here. First, going to change the view so you can see what I'm doing. Got this guy going. Gonna turn him on, but at a low heat, just about a sustained boil temp. And I forgot to set a timer for this. I'm gonna give it another 10 minutes. There we go. we'll take a look at it. It probably hasn't been 10 minutes, but generally you're shooting for about 40 minutes, at least what I do. 20 minutes with the lid on, another 20 minutes with it off, or get some nice color. Let's see, I think I'm about time to get into muffins. I'm just going to do a small batch of muffins here, but I've got berries to use up, so it's got some dust and junk in the bottom from sitting underneath the oven for a while. I don't use cupcake tins very often. Yeah, I enjoy wine. Mostly with food. Beer just tends to sit too heavy on me. Some light beers are cool, and there's certainly times and opportunities. There's always that lovely outside late night walk, but many times just rather have a glass of wine, I think. Though overall, if I'm in a restaurant, I'm gonna order a cocktail, because I'm going to be able to buy the wine a heck of a lot cheaper outside of a restaurant. And cocktail, at least, requires a little work. Then again, I say that, and I haven't ate in a restaurant since March. I've only ate 3 to-go meals since March. Yeah, that's yummy. Some apple notes in there. Like some tart green apple going on there. Not very strong though. I do miss restaurants. I don't do many restaurants, but my thing is I'll do like one nice restaurant a month, sort of a thing. I'm not gonna waste my time. I may do takeout or stuff for a quick night off. But don't do a whole lot of the mid-range and last time I went to a fast casual restaurant, I was so put off by the experience. Had a obviously brand new waiter, teenager kid, sitting there like literally reading off of a tablet to me, and had to go and get clearance in order to change the type of a dressing, sort of a thing. It was bad. I think that was a BJ's. We have a BJ's in Santa Rosa. They're probably not going to enjoy this whole COVID. They're one of those type. They're a brew pub. So I already have some butter warming up ahead of time. And we're gonna take a couple of our strawberries. Should have left you out. I knew I needed to cut more. How many strawberries we're doing here? Quite a few. And we're gonna throw in blackberries in with this too. This is only gonna be for about 6 muffins here. I don't know if I said that already or not. Let's do us for strawberries. Some these nice blackberries. Small little guys. Flavor though. Flavor packed. And we're gonna mash these with our butter and soon sugar. But I want to get the berries down to mush here first. Ah, that one got me. My music stop? You guys hear the music at all? Oh, there, I guess I hear it a little bit. No, we're not doing that. We're doing a half recipe. Need to turn our oven on for the muffins, even though I'm sure it's still nice and warm. We'll be setting this to after we take this lovely bread out here in 20 seconds. 425. Oh, don't need to turn it down much. that'll do. What do you guys think? That's pretty beautiful to me. Let me see if you guys can even see that. Let's yeah. Yeah, you guys can see that. That's yeah. Let that hang out for a little bit. Need an egg. Last egg in the house. Excuse me. Which is the reason I'm doing a half recipe, by the way. Because I forgot to get eggs. I only got this guy left. Start with the cinnamon. Get these spices out of the way. No need bread, I love it. I mean, it's so simple. Actually gonna do little black pepper in here. Just serve in the background. You got cinnamon, black pepper, little salt, let's see, we got everything else in there now. Yep. Flour and baking soda. We need a strainer. Keep using the same quarter cup measure. So many more planes around here with the wildfires. I mean, there's an airport in Sonoma County. There's actually two airports, I think. Or actually, I know there's two airports. There might be a third. But I don't normally hear planes like at all. Been hearing them all the time here this last week, which is a good sound to hear if we got fires. Oh, it's not that they're... I notice them. I've lived in places where it's much worse. Where I grew up, it was much worse. But and then, as with most quick breads, we are mixing in hopes of not developing gluten. So I'm actually going to switch from this fork because I'm going to need a spatula pull it out anyways. And a spatula is going to work much better than that fork. Might need a little bit extra flour with all the juice from those berries. I don't know, we'll see. Sort of a little bit of a guessing game with the amount of moisture. I mean, you never know how much juice you're going to get from berries. So how do you write a recipe for it? It's one of those. Yeah, it's still looking a little wet to me. So I'm going to throw a little bit more flour in there. Unstrained. Yeah, it depends on where you are. I'm currently quite fed up with high temps, and I don't have AC in this place right now. And with the wildflowers, or wild fires, don't really feel like opening windows. Just set that aside. We're relatively coastal here. I mean, I've got a ways to the coast, but Sonoma County is on the coast. So it's generally temperate 70s. We'd maybe get a week in the 90s. Yeah. It's just been hot. Oftentimes, with jams, jellies, whatever you're making, you're using pectin. I'm cooking this down. And so I'm going to wait for those strawberries to break down a little bit on their own. And I'm going to reduce it down to the thickness I want without adding clear gel or pectin or any of those. I actually still don't know what clear gel is. It's been around for ages. It's got to be some sort of simple starch. But it's a baking starch that they sell commercially that is a thickener, but makes really glossy, like perfect for, say, a fruit sauce. It doesn't give you a matte finish to your thickened sauce. Quick oiling up each one of these, hopefully without knocking over my wine. I don't know, is that the sound of another? Okay, we're only doing 6. And just throw that right back in there. Yeah, we got another battle. Let's see if we do any better this time. Save me entropy. We got this one. Hey, Big Davy. How we doing? Good day. Nice. We got blackberry strawberry muffins that I'm spooning into tins here. I've got bread on the stove that I pulled out that's looking nice and lovely. Always having fun. It's the point, isn't it? Hopefully you enjoy whatever's keeping you busy these days. Or at least it's a stepping stone to helping you enjoy what you do with your days. Nice. That's always a good help. Especially when you're doing extra hours because there's no one there. Give that a shot here. Yeah. Hopefully it's awesome enough that you get a 2-day break. Consecutive. That's the big dream of the line cook. And if you're really, really lucky, it'll be like Thursday, Friday, or Sunday, Monday. Sunday, Monday is a good one. Because Sunday's either the day to get work done or to relax. And it gives you Saturday night to party. Yeah. You want Sunday, Monday off. It's not odd from my experiences, Strwb. I've had horrible experiences with interviewing and getting people to show up to interviews. I've spent days in Starbucks with a handful of people showing up. It's sometimes it's ridiculous, and I guess it's just sort of how the job market works these days. I guess people just spam. I don't know. Let's throw a little sugar on top of these, just to be cutesy. Little sugar in the raw, or demerara. I used to know what the difference was between turbinado and demerara. Demerara. Not quite sure anymore. Not 100% sure which one sugar in the raw is either. I think it's turbinado. Okay, gonna throw these in the oven here, 425 degrees. And these guys are gonna be hopefully pretty quick here. Let's see. 15-18 minutes. We're gonna throw this guy in the back. This may not be done by the end of the stream here. That could be a longer project, but you guys will see pictures at least. And get us. I don't want to use a cast iron for that. Yeah, let's use a cast iron for that. Dry it out really good. Yeah, Davey. Yeah, it's not a fun job hiring, especially for a small business. I don't enjoy the pay $75 to put an ad on Craigslist and have 5 possible, like, even worth considering candidates, and maybe one will show to the interview. And that was, I was last looking for employees, which probably 4 years ago now. I don't even know what the hot spot is for finding gig work these days is. Gonna melt some sugar and throw our walnuts in there. We're gonna put our nuts in melted sugar. Molten hot sugar. Sounds like a great thing to dip your nuts in. So the parchment over here off to the side. I'm not going to want to move it around. It's going to be get the sugar going, mix in what amount of nuts I think is going to get a nice coat, and then quick come over here to the parchment and try and spread them out so they aren't just one giant mass, even though Clumps are cool. Off, off. We're good there. Let's grab a spatula. And why not? Favor. Oops, bumped the camera. Sorry. But yeah, I've gotten some royal doozies of applications, and I got into the practice of making people answer simple questions just to make sure that they actually read what they were applying to. That was a big one too. Is, you know, people just must mass apply and be like, see if anyone responds. Yeah. I was working with I have a mobile kitchen, and I was running my own business with myself to 3 employees. Generally, it was me and one other. And good times, it was me and 2. And yeah, it's just to find someone, and I had a whole bunch of other hoops that I had to find people that would, because I'm working out of farmers markets, and so I can't pick you up for all of them. It's sort of a thing. So they're having to meet me at other locations, which means, yeah, it was just hard to find people with that operation. I'd like to still do something with the kitchen, but I'd like to change up what I'm doing, maybe what state I'm doing in it. Saying earlier, I'm not too happy with having warm weather and too much smoke for me to be able to open the windows. Yeah, that bread's looking like a pretty good loaf there. That whiskey smells good. Bourbon. Drinking the wine and I'm enjoying the wine. But smelling that's making me want a shot of bourbon. This is the better for the temperature. Sunny, hot, Yeah. Nice acidic, make your mouth water. Refresh you. Probably go great with hot, spicy foods too. A little bit ahead of schedule here. Pretty much down to finishing these nuts. We got our muffins to wait on, and then composing our salad. The dressing is going to be a relatively quick matter of some smashed berries with sour cream, mayo, give it a little bit more of that savory kick, and a little vinegar to not make it so much sweet. We're looking for vinaigrette, so we don't want strawberry syrup. I've got some St. Auger blue cheese. If you guys aren't familiar, that is an extremely creamy. I mean, if you don't like blue cheese, this is not the cheese for you. It's extremely creamy. It's got in where the fermentation has happened, or the culturization has happened. You have crystals like you do with Parmesan or various cheeses, but it's just a very complex, very rich cheese. Pretty well available though. Most supermarkets that got themselves a cheese cooler probably got some kicking around. If you're into double or triple cream cheeses or really soft cheeses, and you're okay with blue cheese, check this one out. I'll show it to you guys a little bit later here. I just picked up a small sliver of it just for dinner tonight. Now we're starting to get there. Starting to melt. More fire trucks. Let's see what we get. Oh, nice. Forget which window we're on here. You can probably see that anyways, but yeah. There's our bottom to our bread. Set this over here on this. Oh, need that for the nuts. Unfortunately, I think that's really the problem with a lot of America. Um, so many business, I mean, even mine, where I have one, two other employees other than myself. I was designing everything to be dumbed down so that anyone could do it. I think that's not a good plan. I think we need to put more trust in our employees. I think we need to put more trust in our lower staff because they're worth more. No, it doesn't always work. But I think it's just become the standard, and I don't know how we really fight it. There's a number of things in this world that I just don't know how we really fight. But I think jobs in general, we've just dumbed down certain things to be, like they're on an assembly line. Yeah, but at the same time, when you're asking someone to just sit there and like they're on an assembly line and fill in a spot, no offense, fill popcorn, drinks, and clean up seats. It's what's the fulfillment for that employee? While I let my sugar burn. I need to get this out of this pan because this is burning temp. See if I can save this by throwing it into a cold pan. I think we're okay there. I would think the free movies, but I would think that's dying out now. I don't know if movie theaters are gonna really survive this. I mean, they'll probably come back in some form, and I'm sure there'll be the niche versions, but the big boys, all these major big 20 theater stadiums, I don't know. They've been struggling for years. I mean, they've always sort of been at the whim of the studios anyways, but yeah, very few. I was actually making note of that the other day, how I remember I used to go all the time with my dad, the midday afternoon matinee. Check out the movies that have been out for a month or two already. They made their first spin, and they're not quite out on film, but they're not out on VHS. Yeah. But now it's getting to be where they're fighting theaters to even have. I mean, look at Netflix with their whole thing with theaters now. It's getting to be where they get a couple of days, or maybe a week or two. Still hasn't all broken down here, which is not good. We don't want chunky caramel. Melt down. Those are feeling done to me. They didn't puff up a huge, but I mean, it's a 6 muffin recipe. Gets sort of tough using that little amount of baking powder or baking soda. Got too much going on here. Let's add some nuts in here. That looks good. Give them a quick turn. Get them all nice and coated. We're going straight over the parchment. Want to be very careful with this. You do not want this sugar on you. And we're just going to try and spread these guys out. Try and make it so we don't have too many clumps, but I'm not worried with them sticking a little bit. There we go. Cool. Let those guys cool down. And these that I sort of haphazardly threw over here need a rack board. we're gonna see if we can't pull these guys out. Ooh, he got a little dark. He's looking good. Wow, another battle. Time just flies tonight. We gonna win this one, Entropy? I haven't looked. Alright. Let's give this one a run. I like how it zooms in. Like, I don't like how with marbles you have to, like, I mean, it's good if you're a good commentator to be able to control the view and keep that. But for someone who, like me, who's not a commentator, this works much better to have it just like auto zoom, have an auto follow. I guess the ultimate there would be giving them the choice, but that's a lot of work. Okay, I don't see anything on the field to start, so I'm gonna put them right here on this nice big open area. We'll see what shows up over time. Move our strawberries back to the front burner here. Well, if the front burner wants to work, which it doesn't. So we'll put it on the back burner still. Let's see, these guys cooled down at all yet? I'm worried that we got burnt caramel here. I think I lucked out. I think I lucked out there. They got darker than I wanted it to, but yeah. That works great for cutting the sweetness, the acidity. Let's see how I want to do the rest of this here. We already got our muffins done, and I haven't done my dressing. Let's make up our dressing real quick here. Then we'll do the other part. Let's say 3. We'll do a couple blackberries. These I'm going to mash up a little bit better than I did for the muffins. Honestly, this is probably something better thrown in a food processor. I just don't feel like doing it. You know what? I was going to use even more apple cider vinegar. I'm thinking I might use a little of this wine. It's got such a nice acidity to it. It'll go well. I'm only going to use like a couple tablespoons. Okay. Enough with the fork. Fork ain't getting us there. Need the real tool here for this. Yep. Ladle's always better for straining. Break out the Kewpie. Umami even in our salad, berry salad dressings. This is going to give us some nice savory notes with the egg and the oil to go along with the sour cream. let's do white. I was gonna do apple cider vinegar. Oh, I was gonna do wine. That's right. Spend 5 minutes talking about it and then forget about it. But just a little bit of wine and sour cream. Let's break our fork back out here. Let's not put the sour cream directly on top of that acidic wine, but that'll be good. And way more dressing than I need for tonight.
Our struggle as artists isn't about appeasing the crowd.
Strauss Dairy, if you can find it, it's a Northern California dairy. Worth every penny. We'll see how sweet this is here. And definitely need to add some salt.
Rather, it is a state of mind which you constantly strive toward. This all comes from understanding that ideas aren't static. Like water. Be like water.
I don't know if sweet's what I want to add to that. When in doubt, try it with the veg. See what it needs with the spinach. More acidity. Tasty. I think it'll go well with that blue cheese. But now we're to showing off past projects. We have roulettes from Friday. Nice bread. But as far as past projects, we have roulettes. So that's going to be our first dish of the night, actually. We have this guy here, which was the leftover scraps, or the last of it that I didn't fill up a jar. Like the other ones, we got fata cap over the top, keeping it preserved. Sort of pull that back, get at that interior there. Yeah. And this cooked. I started on Friday at the end of the stream. It cooked overnight and into the next day. It was mid to late afternoon by the time I was cooling down and jarring this. This stuff is heavenly. It's semi-spreadable, just chunks of gorgeously cooked and well-seasoned meat. It's essentially homemade Spam, but it's so much better. But that is some deliciousness right there. Excuse me while I finish this. The bread's not bad either. See if you can hear me better that way. Still toying with things here. I want that mic to mostly pick up the board, but yeah, it's some good bread. Happy with that batch. But to give you guys an idea, besides that little guy there, we have 4 of these guys that will stay nice for the next 2 months. Not sure I'm gonna might hand 1 or 2 of those off to the neighbor or something. Don't know if I'm gonna go through all that in 2 months, but damn delicious. Alright, let's make a salad. What's one more bowl dirty? So let's take. I've got some spinach and arugula mix. This is probably a better straight spinach dinner. So I'm gonna grab majority spinach here, but I'm not gonna be upset if I grab a couple pieces of arugula. Not going to be a huge salad tonight. You know what? Forget it. I'm throwing it all in there. Salt and pepper. Our jam is looking pretty good. Gonna have to take that off the heat here soon. Getting nice and thick there. Once that cools down, that's gonna be you gotta consider that we got molten sugar there. We get that another couple of minutes and then we'll let that go. Give our salad greens a little dressing here. It's probably going to be about the most composed that I get here. Grab the Noir blue. Unwrap it here. Get rid of all that foil too. At least it landed right side up. Saved by the plastic. But as I was saying before, Noir blue is not a blue cheese for those faint of heart when it comes to blue cheese. Because that is blue cheese. I mean, look at that cavity. Turning the strawberries off. And so I'm going to cut a couple of chunks. Around the edge of the plate. We got a decent amount of this still left to go here. Hey there. But like I said, a very soft cheese. Yeah, let's leave them on. Just whole gorgeous strawberry. We got that, we got that, we got that. What am I missing from my salad? We got nuts, and we've got, oh yeah. So we got candied nuts.
Listen.
And final touch, little drizzle of balsamic vinegar. Oh, are we, oh, we got another 2 minutes. Another 2.5 minutes. But yeah, in 2.5 minutes. Yeah, Davey, there's a number of different scenarios. I believe the one we're on now, the enemies show up over time depending on how many people enter, sort of a thing. There's other ones where you defend spaces, and that's just about the best you can do there. Let's do a little bit. And there we go. That's going to be my salad for dinner tonight. Sort of tempted to put like a slice of thin apple on the top there, but let's see if we can't do that. Ah.
Drop.
There we go. It just needed something on top of that pile of greens. Let's get a photo of that. There we go. Davey. Appreciate you joining in. Let's try it once without the apple too. Just to see which I like and after. We got our blackberry strawberry muffins. Hey Evangeline, welcome back. We got some lovely bread here that I'm gonna put some more roulettes on because this was damn tasty. I just devoured that first slice. But we had the pork that I was cooking yesterday to be spreadable on here. And that is just nom 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 nom. Nice. It's been a while since I've done cranberry, just about anything. Though November is coming. So that's the other deliciousness for tonight, made with this nice loaf of bread. We got a sour cream, vinegar, and berry dressing. We've got our salad with fresh apple. And delicious glass of rosé or Pinot Noir. I'm really becoming a big fan of rosé or Pinot Noir. They're light, they're acidic, they work with so many lighter dishes, and most of them I had, like this one, have had great minerality. It's a great summer wine. So let's see who we got out here. See if I can't give someone some people to hang out with here tonight. Why is that? Hopefully for good reasons. Greek pepperoni, stuffed crust pepperoni, okay, barbecue chicken, nice. What makes it Greek pepperoni? Greek seasoning, feta, Greek base. Oh, okay. I thought you were saying it was Greek pepperoni. Like there was a type of Greek pepperoni, which I was not familiar with. Huh. Why don't we go hang out with Very Silly Hats? So, like to thank you guys all for joining me. We'll be back on Wednesday. Don't have plans set in stone for Wednesday. Gonna do some shopping. Gonna do some use up what's around the home. I hope you all enjoyed. I will be doing curries, all sorts of curries on Friday and Sunday next week. So if you guys enjoy curries, please join along. Going to be doing dal on Friday and chickpea equivalent, starts with a C, on Sunday. Also going to be doing some outdoor grilling on my teppanyaki. So going to have the 4th camera set up here next week. Thank you guys all for joining me. I hope you all have a great night.